Back here, we have breaking news in the investigation into the attack on the U.S. Capitol. A judge ordering Trump's ally, attorney John Eastman, to hand over the emails he tried to withhold. NBC News Chief Justice correspondent Pete Williams joins us. Pete.
Well, Andrea, this is a long-running effort by the January 6th committee to get these emails from John Eastman to the president and other people in the White House. And Mr. Eastman had argued that there was privilege here, an attorney-client privilege. And the judge had to decide whether any of this material actually was privileged. He says some of it is, but there is an exception to the privilege for what is known as the crime-fraud exception, if the emails could constitute evidence of a crime. And he says some of them could. What he says is that he finds it more likely than not, that's the phrase the judge uses here in this order, more likely than not that President Trump corruptly attempted to obstruct the session on January 6th when Congress counted the electoral votes. Now, he says in his opinion here, the illegality of the plan was obvious. He says the nation was founded on the peaceful transition of power, epitomized by George Washington laying down his sword to make way for democratic elections. But the judge says, ignoring history, President Trump vigorously campaigned for the vice president to single-handedly determine the results of the election. This was Eastman's theory here, which was that Vice President Pence could simply refuse to count the votes from some of those battleground states where Trump supporters claimed that there was fraud. So the judge says it's more likely than not that the president corruptly attempted to obstruct the joint session. Now, what's the practical effect of this in terms of the Justice Department? Probably not much. There are no facts here that the judge cites that the Justice Department isn't already aware of. And it's a different standard that this judge would apply than the Justice Department would apply in seeking to decide whether or not to file charges against the criminal charges. So it's not a finding. It's not a criminal charge against the president. It's this judge's view that it's more likely than not that the president did try to obstruct Congress. And of course, Eastman can appeal. So we're a long way from seeing the end of this.